Hello Sagittarius and welcome to your reading. Today's date is January 10th, 2022, but this is a timeless reading, so trust that when it finds you, it was the time to find you. Keep in mind it is a general reading, okay? So not everything is going to fit. Take what fits, leave the rest. Let's get into this. So what we are looking at within this reading today is the recent past energy, your current energy, and the near future energy. And within each of those time frames, we're going to break down the challenging energy at hand, your emotional energy, physical energy, and then the energy of the blessing that was surrounding you. Now, whether or not you could see that blessing, it's certainly in the eye of the beholder, right? All right, so let's get into this. This is for Sagittarius. Spirit, may you deliver the highest message of love and healing to Sagittarius today. I have already meditated and shuffled these cards, but I will just do a couple shuffles on screen here for you. Sagittarius. One more shuffle here, Spirit. Sagittarius. Thank you, Spirit. So we have the Eight of Pentacles coming out as the challenging energy in your recent past. We have the Two of Swords in the emotional energy here, the World in the physical, and wow, Two of Pentacles as the blessing. Current energy. What do we have for current energy here, Spirit? Thank you. King of Earth as the challenge, King of Air as the emotions, strength in the physical, and the blessing is the Six of Pentacles. We have the Moon as the challenge in the near future. We have the Five of Cups in the emotions, Five of Fire in the physical, and the Seven of Air, interesting, in the blessings. Wow, okay. So that's a little, so the overall energy here is the Three of Air. Okay, so Sagittarius, for some of you, you may be feeling a little potential rejection. I mean, Three of Air is definitely talking about heartbreak. Now, this could be heartbreak that, you know, has recently happened, or it could be heartbreak that's in the past that's making its surface here. We have the Ace of Cups right behind this Three of Air. So I do feel like even if you are going through, or you have been going through some sort of really emotional hard time, Spirit is offering you some sort of emotional blessing. It's there. It might be taking its time. It might be hard for you to really see the blessing that it is, but I do feel like there's an emotional cup here being offered to you, Sagittarius. So in the recent past energy, we have the Eight of Earth, the Two of Swords, the World, and the Two of Pentacles. I see the energy being here. The challenge was the work that still needed to be done. The challenge was very much the energy, I feel the energy of like you've put a lot of work in, it's taken a lot of effort, and there's more work to do, and potentially the idea of that work is exhausting. The Two of Swords is what comes up in the emotional energy here, and that's a stalemate kind of energy. It's also blocking movement, okay? And it's us, like it's self blocking movement forward. It's self, very much just kind of, you know, sitting with your hands tied and saying, well, I'm stuck. Okay, we have the World and the physical. So something has probably come to an end. And you can put that, I mean, it can be energetically, emotionally, physical, whatever the case may be, but the world energy here in your physical is something has come full circle. Okay, whether that's a lesson learned, or it's you know, situations coming to an end and moving on to the next phase. I do feel like something has come to completion here. We have the Two of Pentacles, interesting, as the blessing in this energy, and that's the blessing of flexibility and balance within self. Okay, so for some of you, it could have been the balance between the practical aspects of life and the spiritual aspects of life, and being able to, work your way through that balance of self. In the current energy, we have the King of Earth as the challenge. We have the King of Air as the emotion, the Strength as the physical, and the Six of Pentacles. I see currently here that the challenge is like aligning yourself to actual movement towards your prosperity. Okay, I see that being a little bit of a challenge. The King of Air, in the emotional energy, I do feel like you're getting very clear on the direction you're going. It is sometimes that King of Air, especially in distorted energies, can be discussing, being ice cold, rigid, and that's certainly not the energy you want to have here, especially in the emotions. But that King of Air is definitely as well discussing clarity and truth. The strength in your physical, I feel like no matter what you're going through right now, you're really having to reach deep within inside of self and find that lion within your heart. Strength isn't necessarily the energy of being the strongest or the boldest or whatever the case may be, but it is about being that of pure of heart, and not even pure, not even necessarily just pure of heart, but like brave of heart, understanding that the situations before you are ones that you have tasks and growth that you have to go through, and it's kind of like, well, I'm in the mess of it, and I must figure out how to heal and go forward from this. And then the Six of Pentacles is a blessing. I do see that the universe is giving, I see that there's being work put in here, Sagittarius. I understand that it could be a very heartbreaking kind of energy surrounding you and all of this right now, but I do see that you acknowledge what you're putting out is what you're getting back in. So as you put out the work, I do feel like the universe is definitely giving you back some sort of blessing and some sort of encouragement. In the near future, we see the moon as the challenging energy, which is having the faith through the illusions, having the faith where you cannot see it. We see the Five of Cups and the emotions. So again, I mean, you see in the emotions, we have the Two of Swords, we have the King of Swords, and then we have the Five of Cups, because there's a little bit like this stalemate energy up here, this rigid kind of cold energy. I feel like emotionally you acknowledge, especially with the Five of Cups, because the Five of Cups is, I mean, it's kind of a very emotionally trying kind of energy, because it is very sad, but it's healing. Okay, the Five of Cups is acknowledging that yes, there has been cups that have been spilt, there's been emotions that have been hurt, but it's acknowledging those emotions for what they are. It's doing the work, the actual healing work, to move past that Five of Cups energy. We see the Five of Wands as well in the physical energy, which is so interesting to me, because five is such a combative kind of number. Like, it's such a challenging kind of number. It's really pushing you into self-growth, and it is a very uncomfortable number when we're looking at it in the tarot. And here are two very challenging kind of energies, because one is like emotionally having to actually like put the growth in and the work in to emotionally heal self, and the Five of Wands is like acknowledging that it's time to level yourself up around you, in energy fields, emotionally, physically, whatever the case may be, but it's time to level self up. It's time to do the growth that's needed. It's time to sink your feet in, like your teeth in, and really get to work on the growth at hand. Okay, so that Five of Wands, I do feel it's challenging and it's uncomfortable to do the growth, but I feel, Sagittarius, that you need to do it, right? And then we have the Seven of Air here as the blessings, and I feel things that maybe you thought, I feel like illusions again are coming, I feel like the veils are kind of being stripped away. Truth I do feel is making its way to you, and maybe things that you had the illusion of fear over before, this is kind of where you're understanding, okay, it's not fear. It is fear, but it's not something I need to fear. Okay, so let's get to clarifying this, Sagittarius. Let's start with this overall energy in the Three of Swords. Oh, spirits, let us see. Clarify this Three of Swords for us, please. Let's see, overall energy here for Sagittarius. Clarify. Whoa. Okay. So we have the Seven of Cups, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Four of Pentacles. There's a lot of cards that came out there. So we're only really going to take these two, because we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Four of Pentacles, clarifying this Three of Swords. For some of you, this pain, again, we see this Two of Swords energy. Okay, so there's that blockage, there's that stalemate. The Four of Pentacles is about knowing your worth and feeling wholesome within your own space and your own energy, within who you are, okay? It's that worthiness of self. And I feel for some of you, that could be where a lot of this rejection and heartache is coming from. I do feel like maybe for some of you, it's almost as though there's been very limited options within your life. And because of those limited options, I feel like it kept you stuck in this stalemate, and probably stuck in the stalemate of you thinking very little about yourself. Okay, I feel like this, yeah, I feel like some of this heartache is definitely coming from, I feel like some of this stalemate is actually, and this heartache is actually stemming from you not seeing your worthiness and self. And therefore, like, it's like you don't think you have very many options before you. I think that part of this heartache is coming from you thinking that you do not have opportunities or options to go forward in life. I think maybe for some of you, you're like, well, this is about as good as it's going to get. And it's stuck like that because you couldn't see yourself as worthy here, right? You couldn't see yourself, and you know, and that could probably be from a whole list of things that you come from: bad relationships, bad parenting, you know, a traumatizing childhood, you know, whether or not, like, there can be bits and pieces from your childhood certainly that traumatized you. Maybe it was a bad freaking teacher that somehow, you know, stemmed within your head that you weren't worthy of good things, and somehow that you continue to feel that rejection, I feel. And I feel almost like you continue to feel, as much as you feel like it's the rejection of people around you, I think underlying Sagittarius, it's the rejection of self here. Okay, because I see this Two of Swords and this Four of Pentacles being a very strong, like, it's like you block yourself from seeing the worthiness. And within blocking yourself from seeing that worthiness, you make all of these opportunities, you limit yourself to them because you don't see yourself worthy of actually stepping into those opportunities. All right, so this Eight of Pentacles in the recent past energy, can you clarify, Spirit, why this Eight of Pentacles was challenging? We have the Daughter of Wands, the Strength, and the Mother of Swords, clarifying this Eight of Pentacles. You know, because this Eight of Pentacles as a challenging energy, and I love these cards for this. Okay, so as the challenging energy, the Eight of Pentacles was about going forward and putting the work in. You know, acknowledging, I get it, Sagittarius, you have put a lot of work in. I feel like self-growth has probably been a part of you, but there's still some pieces that you are hanging on to. And see, the challenge here was creating new cycles. Okay, the Page of Wands is about going forward with new inspiration, new fires, new passions, but dropping the cycles of the past. Okay, acknowledging where they have been in the past, but then dropping the cycles. Also understanding the ebb and flow of life. Right? Like, that's why this infinity symbol's here, because it's going to be good and it's going to be bad. Not everything is always good and not everything's always going to be bad. But see, there was lessons and cycles here that you had to go forward here, and it was going to take some strength. Okay, here we have the Strength and the Mother of Swords, Queen of Swords. But here's that strength energy again. There's a lot of repeat cards out already. Two of Swords is back out twice. Strength is out twice. I feel like the strength again was connecting to yourself. You know, and the Queen of Swords, it's interesting. She's very truthful. Okay? She can be a little rigid at times, don't get me wrong, but she's very clear. Okay? She's very clear on who she is, what her intuition is telling her. Like, she doesn't second guess it. Okay, she's been through a lot. She's a very wise kind of queen here. And I feel like that was a challenging energy for you, is because you had to release yourself. It's like you had to release yourself from the resentment and it's not that the lessons of the past you were completely blowing off, but that you weren't viewing the upcoming cycles through the tinted lens of the past. You know what I'm saying? it's like the challenge here was you had to go forward, and you were still going to have to put work in, but you couldn't view it from the same lens that you have viewed your past, because the pages are all about going forward and having a new kind of childlike enthusiasm at the situation, right? I feel like the challenge here definitely was acknowledging the new cycles at hand, maybe, and the strength that it was going to take to actually implement those new cycles into life. Okay, because sometimes it's easier to be cold-hearted and just close it off than to actually do the work for the cycles that needs to be put in, right? Okay, so this Two of Swords, let's clarify this Two of Swords as the emotional energy in the recent past. Clarify this Two of Swords for a spirit as the emotional energy in the recent past. Too many spirit. Okay. We have the Eight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Two of Cups. Holy smokes. Okay. You know, I feel, and Sagittarius, I'm not picking on you, but I feel for some of you there was just this. So the Eight of Swords coming out here, that's where you've caged yourself in. Okay, that's where you have spun the stories, and not that the stories weren't real, but that you continued to repeat how painful those stories were again and again and again. So therefore, they constantly were continuing to hurt. And the Eight of Swords is kind of like the card of victim mentality. Now, I say that with great tenderness. Not always does it sound very tender when it comes out of my mouth, but I do say it with great love. The victim mentality is where you have been victimized. Okay, but you continue to choose the definition of what your wound is, right? It's like, I am my wound, okay? Where the healing aspect of that is, I have been wounded, but my wound does not define me, okay? And this is the energy of having to kind of that reflection, okay? Are you continuing to repeat you are your wound? Is that why you're stuck here, right? Because this Two of Swords is about a self-stalemate, right? Where you have put yourself into this resistance of going forward. We see the Four of Swords right after this Eight of Swords, because I do feel like for a lot of you, there was clarity and truth that came in, and there was a need to do some self-reflection, and certainly a need to do some self-reflection in how you go about relationships. Oftentimes that can be talking about some sort of codependency, right? And for some of you, maybe that was the stalemate. It was really, you had to get clear with self so you were able to go forward and actually bring to the table your authenticity and your full cup, right? Because if we are going into relationships of any kind, romantic, platonic, friendships, work relationships, but if we are going into those connections and we are needing, the reason we're going into them, if the baseline is we are needing those people to fill our cups up, there will be a level of codependency within all of our relationships. Okay, and this is where you are getting clear on self-regulating your worthiness, and where you were keeping yourself small and stuck and not moving forward. Let's see, this world, can you clarify this? We have the Page of Swords, absolutely. The Justice and the Five. Look at that. So here's the cycle that completed, right? And you're going to have to put that wherever it fit. For some of you, it could have been relationships that came to an end, work situations that came to an end, cycles again of like energetic cycles or lessons or whatever the case may be. Look at here though. The Page of Swords came with that, and look at all those bright ideas floating around this beautiful owl, because here she not only, this is another page, so we have the Page of Wands over here, and this Page of Swords is coming up because she's learning new ideas. Okay, she's going forward, and she's keeping herself open to the new ideas that are surrounding her. She's not really sure where she's going to go yet. It's not like she's made the decision in which direction she's going to go, but she's open to the lessons at hand here. Okay, liberating self, bringing balance and justice to the situation at hand. And we are responsible for liberating ourselves and for bringing balance and peace back into our world, right? Because if we allow others or energy or whatever the case may be to dictate and imbalance our peace within inside of ourselves, well, that's not okay. right? Then we need to step into the liberation energy of justice and liberate ourselves from that. Okay? Take that control back. As no, this is my energy, and this is what I give, and this is what I don't give, this is what I allow in, this is what I don't allow in. See, there's that Five of Wands again. There's that need for growth. Okay, so no matter what that situation was for you, I do feel like it was asking you to really sit with self, figure out what the truth was for self, and then do the uncomfortable growth to move on from that. Okay, I feel like you had to be open and learn some new things here. You did have to stand for self. You did have to, and the universe definitely balance, like justice can definitely be the universe stepping into to karmically balance out certain situations. But even when the universe balances out certain situations, divine free will is always like, okay, so what are you going to choose? Are you going to go with this balanced energy, or are you going to repeat the imbalanced energy before because you're not brave enough to level up? I see Sagittarius, especially with this Five of Wands energy, you chose leveling up. It wasn't that it was easy. It wasn't that you got it perfect, but you did choose to level up. Two of Pentacles as the blessing. How is this Two of Pentacles energy the blessing in the recent past? Thank you, Spirit. Wow, we have the Temperance, the Eight of Swords, absolutely. The World, and the Ten of Swords come out here. And the Temperance is your energy here. Look at this. This was the truth. Okay, here was that balance of self, and I love that the Temperance and the Temperance clarified this Two of Pentacles, because I feel, Sagittarius, that you found this balance and this power within inside of self. The Ace of Swords is all about a truth, a clarity, okay, some sort of divine aha that comes in, okay, and then we have the World here. Look, there's that cycle, there's that completion again, and the Ten of Swords. It's almost as though I feel like you really got clear on self and power of self. I feel like for some of you, could have been messages come in, could have been a whole bunch of different things, but there was some sort of divine truth here that allowed you to see not only the balance and the power that you had within you, but how strong you were to be able to leave whatever that situation was behind. Again, whether it was energetically or physically or emotionally, whether it was in your tangible 3D world or your spiritual 5D world. I feel that whatever was holding you and keeping you back, the blessing here is that power and that balance, it was within you, and clarity and truth were here. So as much as you have the Ace of Swords, look at this, the Ace of Swords, the World, and then the Ten of Swords, because it's like, here's the truth, here's the lesson, here's the whole situation as a whole. Maybe you were able to see that situation as a whole for exactly what it was, and then you were able to see the toxic beast that was maybe still standing there and finish it out for what needed to happen. Right? And here's that Temperance energy of Sagittarius, the power within being able to blend your action and your faith together. And that's such an important energy, especially within that Two of Pentacles. Let's see, why is this King of Pentacles in the current energy? Why is this King of Pentacles challenging? Wow, Mother of Cups, Son of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like this challenge here, the King is talking about your masculine energy, okay? And that is defining the action and the fire and the movement in your life. Okay, and the King of Pentacles is the action that we show up to actually move ourselves, take the steps needed to move ourselves in the direction of fulfillment that we want to see. Now here we have the Mother of Cups with the Son of Cups. So I do feel like the challenge here is about actually making the tangible steps for the direction you want to go. And I feel like why it's challenging is because in order for you to actually open up and step in to this new beginning, this Queen of Cups, this is about stepping into your feels. Okay, allowing your feels and not allowing your feels and your intuition, allowing your connection to divine guidance be what actually kind of steers you. For some of you, I feel like there may be the need to reach out. I do feel though that Spirit's kind of offering you again some emotional support here, because Sagittarius, I feel like emotionally things have been really tough on you, and as much as you're making the right steps, I think that sometimes the heart just hurts here. Okay, and I do see new beginnings. Okay, I do see a tangible new beginning. Again, in whatever way that fits into your life, but I see something that is emotionally going to fulfill you and support you here is beginning, but it's committing to walking in the direction of that happiness. It's like, ultimately, it's like your soul is telling you, hey, this is going to make you happy. And the challenge is like, oh, do I really walk that path? Well, yeah, it's where your soul is going to be happy. Okay, King of Earth. King of Earth gets the Moon, the Death, and the Tower. Wow, look at that. Emotionally here in the current energy, you got 3 major arcanas. You have the Moon. This is the fear in which you cannot see. And look at that. We have the Death behind it and the Tower behind that. There is transformation that is needed. When these two come out together, that's a big one, because the Death is about just allowing what needs to go. Okay? The structures that are serving you, they are not helping. Okay, they need to come down. That's why that Tower is there. And for some of you, it could be a very destructive kind of energy, something that's very hard for you to go through, because this is a big transformation here. Okay, and the King of Swords is oftentimes, this is about really, I feel like it's the clarity and the truth to it. And it's almost like action steps, because again, it's a king. So there's action steps that are going to be required of you here to address this emotional energy. But this is faith. Okay? The Moon is faith. So no matter what this situation is at hand, Sagittarius, I feel like your faith in the transformation, that is going to be your saving grace here. Physically, we see the strength here. And I believe that. Yeah, 7 of Swords, the Star. Wow, and the Hanged Man. I believe that, because the strength, again, is where you are having to actually tap into how strong that soul being of self is. And in order for you to tap into that, it's that divine connection that you're not standing on your own, right? That you are divinely guided. We see the 7 of Swords here with the Star and the Hanged Man. And I feel like there's blessings coming forward. I feel like there's still, things aren't necessarily, you're having a hard time seeing through things. And I feel like there's a lot of illusions and probably a lot of veils in front of your face. And you're being asked just to have the faith. The strength is in the faith. Okay? The strength is in allowing yourself just to divulge into the Spirit's divine plan. Okay, here is where I understand that it might be very challenging, and there might be a lot of things that not only terrify you, but trigger you. And here it's like, the universe is just like, okay, I get it. You can't see the way through here, but the power is in you releasing the resistance to this. The power is in allowing me, the power and your strength is in allowing the divine to unfold it the way the situation best needs to unfold. Now let's see why the 6 of Pentacles in the current energy is the blessing. The Wheel of Fortune, wow, the 10 of Wands, and the Chariot. Yeah, Sagittarius, again, there's huge movement, okay? And look at this, the Wheel of Fortune, the 6 of Pentacles is an energy of what you get out is what you get back. It's kind of like the energy of the law of attraction. And I oftentimes find the wheel to be very much like that, right? The wheel is constantly ever changing. And look at this. I do feel like these burdens are coming to a forefront. Okay, I feel like the wheel is, whether or not these burdens have been carrying, like there's some sort of release here. Because you have the wheel, the 10 of Wands, and then this Chariot. And the Chariot is about acknowledging and choosing the path that you want to go to. Okay, it's acknowledging that the universe is moving, shifting cycles, and then it's making the best opportunity with what is happening, right? The wheels are shifting, the alignments are happening, drop the wands, drop the burdens, and move forward with this Chariot. Align your Chariot and continue to move forward. Okay, I do see like spiritually there is a lot of healing, and I feel like almost there's just a lot of like, I'm hearing synchronicities within life. Like almost like it'll be like situations where it's kind of like a coincidence that came up, and it's like, okay, well, is that a coincidence or is that a sign? And it's like, okay, well, drop the burdens, drop the fear, and take the, choose those opportunities, right? Choose the change. Now let's see why this moon in the upcoming energy is in this challenging position. We see the Four of Cups and the Seven of Wands. Again, that moon is about having faith in the divine, right? That moon is about seeing beyond the veil, not allowing the darkness and the illusion of fear to stop you. And I feel like the big one here, so the Four of Cups is oftentimes talking about cups that have been spilt. Energies that have been spelt. In traditional tarot, the depiction is a man sitting by a tree, right? And there's 3 cups before him and they're spilt. And then there's a hand behind the man that's reaching down from the heavens, also offering him a full cup. But that man is focused on the cups before him that are spilt. Okay, so therefore he can't see the blessing that the divine is literally handing right to him. And I feel like that could be some of the illusion here. Okay, I feel like for some of you, you're going to be staring at cups that got spilt instead of seeing that the gift here is your own inner light. The Seven of Wands coming out with this energy. Just because cups have been spilt, don't let that dampen your shine. Don't let, don't get into the poor habit of thinking that what is for you will never be for you, or that people could take what is for you from you. Okay, this is the energy of stepping into one's own authenticity, one's own light, one's own power. Understanding your divine connection is something that, that empowers you and moves you forward. We also see the Eight of Wands coming here. It's what aligns you to this change. Even when you feel like there is going to be no growth and no change and no forward movement, this Eight of Wands is the spirit sparking change. Okay, and don't allow the illusions of your fear to trick you that, that all your cups are spilt and that you aren't going to find happiness. Don't allow that to be the case. Again, the challenge here is having the faith. Okay, and that is a challenge. Okay, that is a challenge. We all know that. Why is this Five of Cups in the emotional energy here? So in the near future emotional energy, we have the Five of Cups, which was clarified by the Five of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. See, this Five of Cups is the healing that needs to happen. And for some of you, there is some communication that needs to happen. Okay? Because the Five of Swords is, again, that communication of, or that challenging communication. Okay? That tense communication. Maybe it's something that you need to communicate with somebody else. Maybe there's some healing that needs to be talked about. That's a hard thing to talk about. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself, right? How you talk to yourself about the healing you need to do, or the stuff that you've been through. We have the Seven of Pentacles after this, and this is kind of like an evaluation energy, right? Like you've done work, Sagittarius, I understand that you've done work. And this to me is the evaluation energy going forward. The way that you've been going about it, is it going to work and benefit you going forward? Or do you need to make some adjustments on the way that you've been healing and the way that you've been going so that you can grow further going ahead? Okay. And then look at this, that King of Pentacles energy again. Because it's about taking the steps. It's about aligning self to actually take the steps and being brave enough and knowing you are worthy enough. Knowing you have what it takes within you to make the steps. If you're dreaming something, that's because you have it within you to do it. Okay? And not very many of us actually connect those dots, because faith, that kind of faith, is a really hard thing to come by. Right? We run up against reality and circumstances and setbacks and trials and tribulations, and we're like, meh, okay, well, that probably, what I was dreaming probably isn't going to come quite to fruition. Right? But if you have the faith and you continue to put the work in at it, it will. And that's that King of Pentacles energy. And this is like that reevaluation. It's time to do the healing. Where are you keeping yourself stuck? Right? Where do you need to step in and do that extra work? Put in the extra steps here. Chances are it does have something to do with some of this emotional healing here. I feel like you've probably done a really good job at just burying it and carrying it with you. Okay, 5 of Fire here. We have the Queen of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers. There is, again, there is this growth, there is this leveling up within inside of self, and one that is going to take you actually embracing the light of self. Here's your divine feminine energy here, the Mother of Wands, okay? And we see that the blessing here, here's the universe, again, offering you some sort of cup of opportunity. Okay, the Ace of Cups is a gift from the divine, a blessing from the divine, something that is emotionally going to fulfill your cup. It can be the happiness within inside of self. It can be that, you know, as you stand in your authenticity, it can be the fulfillment that you feel here. Okay, but through that, you are able to, again, with this Lovers, go forward and blend your energy as a more solid, wholesome energy than as the maybe codependent energy you have been in the past. You know, and again, that takes leveling up. It takes commitment. It takes dedication. It takes growth. Again, you're not always going to get it right. There's going to be days where you definitely aren't going to get it right. Okay? And don't hold that against yourself. Okay? The 5 of Wands isn't an energy of, you know, going through the heartache or going through the growth and thinking, oh, well, if I don't get it right, it's not worth it. It's a one-shot deal. No, that's not it. That's not it. Right? Seven of Swords is the blessing energy here. Can you clarify the 7 of Swords is the blessing? Well, the 7 of Swords, I love it. It's the illusions, it's the clarity to illusions that you have seen. And I love that it's clarified here by the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Wands, and your divine masculine energy. Here's that Father of Wands energy of self. You know, this nine of Swords is about the garbage and the mental fuckery that you carry with you. Okay, this is the heaviness and the burdens that you may be feeling in your gut. Okay, and this 7 of Swords is kind of where this garbage becomes clear. Okay, maybe the illusion of fear starts to open up and you can see what you feared in the past isn't necessarily something to fear going forward, right? Those burdens of self-hatred and self-loathing that you've been carrying around, those swords of, you know, those swords of self-destruction, right? Here I feel it's like where you acknowledge that, wait a minute, maybe self-sabotage was self-protection, and that is there because I have felt like this. A part of me wanted to go this way and I wasn't listening to that part of me. Right? There's a lot of truth that comes out with this. And I feel like you've been carrying around some baggage. And, you know, it probably has come with its fair share of sleepless nights or uneasiness. I feel very queasy stomachs as well, you know, maybe some stomach issues. But I do feel like this blessing here is where those illusions, the illusion of fear is what I'm hearing, starts to lift. And you're able to really decipher, okay, what is actually, you know, what do I fear and what am I just allowing, you know, well, this is what I've been told to fear, right? We see this 3 of Wands as you stepping into the new higher version of self, right? Because the 3 of Wands is about acknowledging that there needed to be a change in the way you were going. And then that's the 2 of Wands energy. And the 3 of Wands energy is about actually stepping into the change that you wanted to see being made. Okay? Being accountable for one's vibration. And I love that the King of Wands came after that, because there's that divine masculine energy of self. Right? Again, who is very confident and solid in who he is, in his authenticity. This is, you know, the King of Wands is somebody who's going to take the action that directly reflects what his soul is telling him he's born to do, right? What his passion and his fire are saying, hey, this is what we're doing, right? Well, Sagittarius, that was beautiful. So we're going to finish with an oracle message, and I've been using the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. I love this deck. I really do. I really love, I just love the way I love how she writes as well. Like, I love the messages in the book. So I will be reading directly from the book. This is for Sagittarius, Spirit. What is the message of encouragement going forward for Sagittarius here? The message for Sagittarius. Thank you, Spirit. We have the Badger Spirit. Be fearless and bold, because Badger Spirit don't give a fuck, right? All right, and it actually came out in the reverse, and Badger Spirit is number 4, but it did come out in the reverse, so I'm actually going to read the protection message of it. When Badger Spirit comes to protect you, he reminds you that anger or aggression, argumentative behavior, or being pushy or manipulative will not result in a positive outcome. Perhaps someone close to you has excess Badger energy, or perhaps that energy is pent up in you. Either way, now is a time to calm down and allow the energy to pass through you. Go for a hike or a brisk walk. Shake it off or dance it out so that you can return to the situation determined and committed, but not so intense that you overwhelm others and yourself. The appearance of Badger Spirit also serves as a reminder if you have been relentlessly pursuing something that keeps eluding you. The message is that it's time to surrender it up to your higher power and focus on something else. Badger Spirit wants to protect you from self-will run rampant, from being obsessed with getting what you want in the form you prefer, in a timing that fits perfectly in your notion of what it has to be. Remember, the world doesn't revolve around your wants. Better, more beautiful opportunities will be the result when you release some of that Badger Spirit intensity, along with your need to have it your way 100%. I love it. Be bold and fearless. All right, Sagittariuses, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye now.